Hello, curious people. Welcome to the Barnum Museum series, Curious People Wanted, our show and tell about the fascinating objects in the museum's collection. My name is Adrienne Saint-Pierre, and I'm the curator here at the museum in Bridgeport, Connecticut. When you're learning about someone who lived a long time ago, maybe you wonder, what did they do for fun? What were their hobbies? Today, I'm going to share what we figured out about P.T. Barnum's second wife, Nancy Fish Barnum. P.T. married her in 1874 after his first wife, Charity, died. Nancy became very well known because she was married to this famous man and she enjoyed traveling with him. Of course, we know that her husband had an endless list of interests, but what did she like to do? Well, we have a clue in a set of photographs here at the Barnum Museum. When P.T. and Nancy built a new home in 1889, she hired a professional to come in and take pictures of the various rooms. She wanted to show her family in England what the new home looked like. In several of the photographs, including one that is a portrait of Nancy, we see the same banjo. So she must really have liked that banjo to have had it included in 3 of the 9 interior views. And it wasn't just tucked away in a corner, it was prominently displayed, so we do get 3 good views. Amazingly, the museum received the very banjo just a few years ago. Here it is. It's really a beautiful instrument, although it has seen better days. Not many banjos boast such fancy materials, silver and this iridescent shell inlay called mother of pearl and ivory pegs. On the silver plate here, you can see Nancy's initials engraved as a monogram, NB within a circle, and then below that we see the date, 1888. Well, it would be a fair guess that the banjo was a special gift to her from her husband. We don't know that for certain, but it seems likely, and it probably looked quite jazzy with the boldly striped strap that we see in the photographs. Unfortunately, that strap is gone and not even a fragment left to show us what the colors were. P.T. and Nancy were together for about 17 years, but after P.T. died in 1891, Nancy decided to do some world traveling on her own. She ended up becoming engaged to a Greek gentleman, and they decided their home would be in Europe. So in paring down to move overseas, she gave away some of her special treasures to friends of the family in Bridgeport. And that's the story behind this banjo. Around 1894, it was given to the grandfather of the person who donated it to us. She told us that the Barnums and her family had had adjacent pews in the church that they attended in Bridgeport, and they had become close friends over the years. As it turned out, the next generations of that family left Connecticut, and they moved to Florida and then out to the state of Washington, and the banjo went with them cross-country. I suspect the radical change in climate from New England to Florida and then out to the West Coast, plus the wear and tear of moving, caused the damage that we see. And the head on the instrument is animal hide, which has dried out over time and split. But thankfully, despite the damage, the family kept the banjo and passed down its story too. For us here at the museum, it was a thrill to get a call asking if we would like to have this banjo. And what I found very interesting in doing some of the contextual research about this piece was learning that this was made in the period of the 19th century when some Americans were actually advocating for the banjo to become the national instrument, America's equivalent of Europe's violin. Perhaps Nancy Barnum liked that idea too, or maybe she was just curious about learning to play the banjo. Thanks for joining me today, and I will look forward to seeing you on a future episode of Curious People Wanted. Stay curious.